There's a moon out tonight. Let's go strolling.
Hello, I'm Marie, the host of Vinyl City Broadcasting, your transit express to rock and roll trivia. The song and visual behind me tells you all about the special guest we're interviewing today, Mr. Michael D'Amore of the Capris. The Capris have had many hits over the years, but their two signature songs, There's a Moon Out Tonight and Morse Code of Love, are the crowd's favorites. Let me give you a brief synopsis of this phenomenal singer and entertainer. Singer and songwriter Michael D'Amore was born in upstate New York, raised and resided in New Jersey for most of his life. Coming from a musical family, it wasn't a surprise that he had this passion for music and would eventually become his livelihood. Michael has been entertaining for as long as he can remember. Having performed in several genres, eventually he found himself drawn to the harmony of the classic R&B and doo-wop sounds. Besides being a member of the Capris, he also performs as a one-man show, showcasing the very best of 60s, 70s, and 80s music, which he will tell us about in the interview. He's quite a talent, and he continues to strive for perfection in his craft and will always measure his level of success by the number of smiles in his audience. I'm smiling, Michael. Rico tells me that Michael is ready to go. So let's go from full moon to Zoom room and start our interview. Before I dash over there, we're going to run a promotional video of Michael and the Capris performing some of their smash hits. Rico, run the promotional video.
Every so often, a singer comes along who is versatile enough to be comfortable in almost any genre of music.
And I will always love you.
Adult contemporary artist and 2020 Male Vocalist nominee in the East Coast Music Hall of Fame, Michael D'Amore has been entertaining audiences his entire life, performing nationally both as a solo artist as well as being the lead singer of the Capris. Michael's performances cover everything, from Andrea Bocelli to Whitney Houston, and Barry White to Frankie Valli, doo-wop to disco, Motown to top 40, and everything in between. Michael has always measured the success of his performances and his career by the number of smiles in his audience. If you have yet to see Michael D'Amore in concert, head over to michaeldamore.com to check and see when there is a show, an event, or a cruise departing near you.
Sento che ci salverò.
Hey everybody, Michael D'Amore here. I just wanted to pop in and say thank you so much to all of you who have been attending the shows and the concerts all over the country these past few years. It means more to me than you may realize. And for those of you who I haven't met yet, I hope I get to meet you soon. I want to remind everybody to go to michaeldiamore.com, and when you get there, don't forget to join my mailing list. It's the easiest way for you to stay up to date with everything coming up when I'll be in your neck of the woods, and you never know when we could be out on the high seas together. Everybody stay safe and healthy, and stay tuned to the end of this video to see if there's other cool things that are coming up. Take care.
Talk about someone who is multi-talented, just phenomenal.
I have Michael on Zoom ready to go, Marie. You can say hello to him anytime you want.
Okay, here we go.
Whenever you are ready, I'm ready for you.
Okay. So it's already started recording, so then he's going to cut that part out.
Just make sure it says recording up there.
Yes, it says recording.
Okay.
All right. Well, here.
Marie, take a deep breath.
Well, I don't do this every day, Michael, so. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm here in our Zoom room studio with Michael D'Amore, the lead singer of the Capris. Hello, Michael. How are you today?
I am good, darling. How are you?
Just fine, thank you. So glad you're here today. And
It's good to be anywhere at this point.
yeah, so true. We all agree. Now, we don't know too much about your background other than what we've read on social media. So we're going to let you fill in between the lines for us as we go through your career.
Okay.
And I have some questions for you. Now, we had
I
read you.
promise to answer most of them.
Oh, okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a good Italian boy. I don't see nothing. I don't hear nothing. I don't know nothing. Okay. So some things I can't answer.
All
The
right.
rest of it, not a problem.
Good boy, good boy. Now, we read you came from a musical background.
Mhm.
So you did. So what influenced you to pursue a singing career? And did singing R&B and doo-wop music come naturally to you?
Well, the biggest motivation is I didn't want to get a day job.
Right.
I grew up in a musical family. My
Uh-huh.
mother was a singer. I have a sister who is a singer. I have a daughter who's a professional singer. My aunts and uncles were all musicians. So you grow up around it. It just becomes natural. It's something I love to do. I sang as a kid. And actually signed my first record deal when I was in 2019 with J. Ellis Records. I was doing dance music and going up and down the East Coast. And,
Okay.
once you're bitten by that bug,
Yes.
it's really kind of hard to let that go. I did get out of the business for a few years when I married my first wife and led that traditional life and realized I need to trade in the wife and get my music career back. And that's kind of what I wound up happening. But I've been doing it forever. It's all I know, and I can't envision my life without it.
Well, that's wonderful. And we appreciate you being in the music field. So we appreciate your music.
Who's got it better than me? I get to go out and sing and joke and smile and have fun, and they pay me for it. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, we agree. So how and when did you start to sing lead for the Capris?
So the Capris, I'm singing lead for them now, I guess about 7 years, maybe a little more. Nick Santa Maria passed. He's the original lead, and Nicky wrote all the songs that were recorded, the original stuff. Nicky passed in 2010.
10.
So after Nick passed, they had and I knew Nick. I mean, I was a kid that loved oldies.
Yes.
Never in a million years did I think I'd be singing with a group. And then Nicky had gotten sick and Nicky had passed, and Wayne Smith became their lead singer, and Wayne was somebody else who I was friends with and I knew. And unfortunately, Wayne passed. And I got a phone call. And oddly enough, I had worked with the Capris. I was singing with JT Carter. Who was
yes.
the founding member of the Crests.
Yes, we had met him. Yes.
We had done Cousin Brucey's Palisade Park reunion together with the Capris, and I was with JT, and we had done that show together, and for years, I don't know if you've been a Kenny Vance fan,
Yes.
but Kenny Vance and the Planetones years ago, Kenny's changed some of the members of the group. Angel Rissoff was a member of the Planetones for about 9 years. He was a member of Little Isidore and Inquisitor's Angel, and I worked as a duo for years. We did a Blue Eyed Soul show and a Righteous Brothers tribute. So they had seen videos of me working with Angel, and I had gotten a phone call, and John, the bass singer from the Capris, came to one of my shows, and as he walked out, he looked up at the stage, and I got the job. And I've been with them since. They are a great bunch of guys. They really are. We have a lot of fun.
Oh, so happy to hear that. And you certainly do some of their songs justice. And
Try.
yes, we all have to try. And adding to that, Yesterdays, you're involved with that. So could you tell us about Yesterdays, and then also doing some of the songs of the association?
So Yesterdays, my God, it seems like a lifetime ago, but that was probably 2001, maybe, give or take. And I got involved with this group. They were a local group in New Jersey, doing predominantly oldies. And I started singing lead for them, and we were getting some recognition in the local New York metropolitan area circuit. And part of that is we were also friends with Jim Yester. Some people may not remember that name, but Jim is a founding member of a group called the Association. So we would go out as Jim Yester and the Yesterday and do the Association show and do all of Jim's hits, and we covered that. So who had it better than me? Here I am. I joke all the time, Jim, and if you're familiar with the Association's catalog of music, it's amazing stuff. And I was a kid who thought I knew how to harmonize until I started singing with Jim. And Jim took me to school.
Yeah.
And really kind of taught me what harmony really was. The Association harmony is not normal 1-3-5 harmonies. It's some close, complicated stuff. So I'm forever grateful, for being able to be part of that. And I backed Jim up and played keys and sang behind Jim for quite a few years. And Yesterdays would work on their own as well, and we would do the oldie circuit. And we did that for quite a while. And then, like I said, as I started working with Angel, and I started working with JT Carter, and then ultimately with Capris at this point, and who knows what's next. So if there is a next, I have no idea. I'm just having fun.
Oh, well, that was a good story about Jim helping you with expanding harmony for you.
To sing his material and the stuff they recorded, there's no try. You do or you don't.
You do or you don't. Okay. Well, you made it. So now, I don't know if many people know this, but how did the group come up with the name Capris?
I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm not sure, because I've heard a couple of different renditions of this.
Okay, different stories.
The cat versus the car. I believe it was the car, but I'd have to ask Frankie about that again, and just for those people that may not be aware, Frank Reyna is an original member of the group, and he is still on stage with us. Frankie is 83 years old.
83?
He's with the group 64 years this year.
Oh my goodness.
And we break Frankie's chops all the time, because Frankie doesn't remember what we did 10 minutes ago. But Frankie doesn't forget anything that happened back then. And he jokes about it all the time, and we get to have a lot of fun with it. But I remember saying to Frank one day, "You remember when you auditioned for the Capris?" "Yeah." I said, "What was the bus you took?" "Oh, it was the green bus line. I caught it in South Oza." "That you remember. You couldn't remember what we ate 15 minutes earlier, but you remember what bus line you took." He's a great guy. And it's a blessing. He's on stage. He's standing to my left, and like I said, 64 years.
Oh, that's wonderful.
If that's not an accomplishment, I don't know what is.
Well, that definitely. Well, good for him, and Keep going, Frankie. And so down the road, we'll find out the origination of the name Capris. Hope it's the car, because we like classic cars. So
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that's what it is, but I'm not gonna be held to that because I'm gonna get 100 emails right now. Well, you don't know what you're talking about. You're right. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's why I said that.
well, hopefully they're paying attention. You know, you're gonna look into it. So tell us the story behind the Capris signature songs. There's a Moon Out Tonight and the Morse Code of Love. Were they written for anyone in particular?
I wasn't with Nick when he wrote them.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, and I joke when I do the one-man show, Moon Out Tonight was released in 1958.
58.
It didn't become a hit till 1961.
Oh.
Frank tells the story in the show that the song was released and it got canned. It went nowhere. And the Capris broke up. They were done. It was Jerry Green and a couple of his buddies, they were kids, found the song and put their money together and bought the master and released it on their own record label and got it on the radio. And Frank tells the story. He was driving and all of a sudden there's a Moon Out Tonight comes on the radio. He says, I damn near drove off the road. I slammed on my brakes and the group had to get back together because now the song was most importantly, I want to mention that not only was I not there, but I had yet been born. So, I was not part of that, and I wish I was. I forever say I was born in the wrong era. But that was 61 that became a hit. And then the funny part is it's 21 years before they have the second hit with Morse Code of Love. That was released in 1982.
Oh.
So Nikki had started writing it, from what I understand, late 50s, early 60s. But when they got back together in 82 to do the Ambient Sound album, they needed material, and Nick finished Morse Code of Love, which ultimately Manhattan Transfer had covered and re-released as Baby Come Back to Me.
Yes.
So that was fantastic for Nick as the writer and publishing and all of that. So they're just great tunes. They really are. There were so many others he wrote. Nicky wrote all of the original stuff that they recorded. And Nicky was a very talented songwriter and a very talented singer. And he was also a New York cop. He had a cop mentality. For the New Yorker sitting in a room with you, whose chops I have yet to break, but I will. I wanted to throw that in there. Yeah, he was a New York cop.
Wow. That's something. But we're glad the Capris were able to get back together and that it turned out that way. And then they stayed together for all those years. And then they had the second hit, the Morse Code of Love. So that's really interesting history.
It's amazing how the group has persevered.
Yes.
When I first joined them and having known Nick and having known Wayne, what we would joke, I would say, listen, I'm in. I pass away. Nobody will ever sing lead for this group again because I would be the third one you guys off. Nobody's coming in after me.
You're going to do
they are a great bunch of guys, and we really do have a fun time when we're going.
Yes. Well, we can see that talking to you, absolutely. And you also have a solo career called Let's Grow Cruising Together. And you see it's a mixture of different genres of music. How and when did you put that together?
So I'll clarify. I've had a solo career my entire career.
Oh.
So throughout working with Jim and with the association stuff and Yesterdays, and when I was with Angel Rissoff and J.T. Carter, and even with the Capris, I have always had a solo career outside these groups.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the Capris on average do 18, 20 shows a year. On my own, including those, I do between 230 and 250 shows a year.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm extremely busy as a one-man show. The one-man show I do nationally. Right before COVID, I took it to Europe and started doing it overseas.
Wow.
So I stay pretty busy. I have solo CDs that are released and out on my own. And the Capris are very very nice in the sense that they work with me scheduling wise, because
Yes.
that's the hardest part, is squeezing everything in. So the cruising part of it's cool because right before COVID hit, I partnered with Expedia corporate offices to do all the cruise lines, and they're my cruises. We have one coming up November 14th. We have another one going out March 11th. And I get to take a group of people out to the Caribbean and perform and goof off and have a good time. So that's part of my solo career. But I do a lot of things as a solo act. I play locally in Southwest Florida, which is where I live. So when I'm in town, I play the local spots. But in the last year, as a soloist, I've been in Iowa and Texas and Virginia and DC and New York and Pennsylvania, and that's the solo stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, extremely busy would describe you, yes, but having fun at the same time.
Absolutely. If we're not having fun, we're doing it wrong.
Rico says he's getting tired just listening to this.
Well, good. Tell him he can take over and give me a break.
You better check out his singing ability first. So, Michael, what are you most proud of in your music career so far?
The fact that I still have one.
Good answer. Good answer. And you're going strong, that's for sure.
You know what? It's a difficult question to answer. I'm proud of a lot of things that I've done.
Yes.
I'm proud that I have been able to be part of something a lot bigger than myself.
Yes.
The Capris are in the Vocal Group Hall of Fame. The hits are the hits.
Yes.
I've gotten to work with and hang out with and befriend so many people in the music business. As a kid, I would have shook my head and said that would have never happened. Yeah. And I try to do things the right way, and I try to treat people the right way. And
Yes.
I'm not starstruck by any means. I never have.
Mhm.
I admire people's careers. I admire their bodies of music, but I don't wig out. But I love sitting down and talking, and I love hearing stories. And there's so many people that doing what I do has afforded me an opportunity to meet and spend time with and get to know.
Yes.
That I have conversations with people, not real, because it's my life. It's just who I am now. It's normal. And people look at me, you really got to do that. And I'm like, yeah, that is kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah. We just lost somebody a couple of months ago. If I said the name Ronnie Hawkins, would you recognize that?
No.
Ronnie Hawkins, they called him the Hawk. The godfather of rockabilly. He's from Arkansas, but he moved to Canada years ago. Remember a band called The Band?
The band.
They had a song called The Weight, which was used when he started that group. And he became an icon. When the Beatles played in Canada, they stayed at his house. He played Bill Clinton's inauguration. I mean, he's been around forever and ever and ever. And I get a phone call one day saying, could you play Ronnie and Wanda, his wife's anniversary party? And I said, sure. And I went, and they actually had to call me a couple of days before the show and said, you do know who this is, right? And I said, yeah, well, I'm well aware of who Ronnie is. And I went, I did the show, and about 2 hours in, he sat me down. He says, I've never seen anybody do what you do. Do it. And he proceeded to tell stories for about 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
And I gotta tell you, his best friends was Johnny Cash and Carl Perkins.
Okay. He had some
Okay.
stories.
So, I mean, these are his best friends. These are the people that he just hung out with.
Oh,
And he's talking and telling things that went on. And that's the cool part. When you can hear the way it was from the people that were there.
yes.
It's very humbling.
And we appreciate when we're able to talk to you artists and get so much great history.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank
God,
you for
there's so much of it.
so much, so much. Well, you're a part of it, and we're happy for you.
Thank you.
And now tell us something about yourself that's not on social media or in print that you would like to share with our VCB family today. It could be either a funny or a serious story.
I could tell you, but then I'm going to have to kill Rico.
Okay. Well, maybe don't do that, but
I'm teasing. I could see the page there. Thanks, pal. Something that people wouldn't know. I'm proofreading my brain before it comes out of my mouth. In
You
so
got
I actually had it. So let me just preface this shortly. I've been doing oldies most of my life. Okay, so most of my career, I'm doing vocal group harmony stuff. I also do the yacht rock circuit, and I work with a lot of those guys. And I grew up through the 70s and 80s. That's the stuff I grew up with. So I love that music.
uh-huh.
My musical tastes are quite eclectic. I also do a lot of Broadway stuff.
Oh.
Show tunes. One of the things I do in my one-man show is I sing the prayer, where I sing Andrea and Celine. I do my parts in the song. So my musical tastes are eclectic. So when 2020 hit and I was sitting here, I had a conversation with a buddy of mine who said, "Geez, Mike, you don't do any country music." I said, "I'm an Italian from Jersey. No, I don't do any country music." And I wrote and released a couple of country songs.
The challenge, huh? Okay.
Oh, I gotta tell you, and it was confusing because it went up and it was for sale, and people were coming across these going, "Is that the same guy that did the?" It's the same guy, and it got so confusing. I took them down off my website.
Oh, yeah, you're
Confused. So
Yeah.
all I'm going to say is, if you have a Google device, or you have an Amazon Alexa, and you say, "Alexa," you have to say my name wrong, though. You have to say Michael D'Amore. And if you say play songs by Michael D'Amore, she starts playing all of these songs I've released. And all of a sudden, a country tune will start playing, and people go, "What the hell? What was that?" It's me. I was home, and I loved the tunes, and I loved doing them. They were fun. But yeah, it was causing some confusion.
Yeah, there's a buck there. Well, that's a funny story, Michael.
Funny, yeah.
Now,
Thanks, Mike.
Lead East is coming up this weekend. So what can you tell us about the show?
Oh, well, it's for people that don't know what Lead East is. Lead East is not a show. Lead East is a weekend. It's a convention. It's an oldies car show weekend that happened. This is the 40th year.
40th already.
40th anniversary. So you have cars that come in from all cars that come in from all over the country. They have all kinds of cool things that they do with the cars. They have celebrities. They have striping. They have muffler wrapping contests. They have all kinds of awards they give out. Then they have a drive-in on the side of the hotel. They drop a screen. They have a sock hop. They have concerts. They have shows. They have there's just so much that goes. So if you're into oldies and 50s and 60s and old music and old cars, this is a cool place to be. It happens at the Parsippany Hilton Hotel every Labor Day weekend. I have been performing at Lead East on and off since, I believe, 98 or 99.
Oh.
So it's been quite a long time. And if you give me a second to pull something up, I'm going to tell you, Friday night, there's a group called the Tribunes opening, and I am doing the entire concert Friday night. So if you're in town, get the tickets, come down, spend an evening.
Yeah.
Saturday, and forgive me for looking away, I'm looking it up.
Sure.
They have Bobby D'Andrea. If you remember the Knockouts, Darling Lorraine.
No, that I don't remember.
He's there. Larry Chance and the Earls.
Oh yes, Larry Chance and Earls, absolutely.
The Elegance, Little Star.
Little Star, yes.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Vito Picone.
Vito.
Yeah.
The Excellence, John Hughes, Coney Island Baby. That's the show Saturday night.
Yes.
And Sunday night they have Memories Music, the Del Satins, the Dubs, and the Brooklyn Bridge.
Oh,
So there's 3 concerts Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And yeah, by all means, you know, people are in town. It's northern New Jersey, and we just have it's just such a cool vibe for somebody that loves this music.
Oh, it sounds wonderful. Yes, we love classic cars and, of course, oldies music, so that would be fun. Michael, you recently performed on the PBS Doo-Wop Pop and Soul Generation show with so many other great performers. Tell us a highlight of that extravaganza.
So that was a TJ Levinsky music special. And anybody that's watched any of the PBS music specials over the years, they know TJ and who he is.
Yes.
He's been doing this a long time. The highlight is being able to be part of one of them. That's, you know, if you really watched any of these, starting with, I guess Doo-Wop 50 was the first one.
Yes.
And seen the lineup and the list of people that have filmed those shows over the years, to be a name on that list is pretty cool.
Yes.
I flew into Pittsburgh to film that, and I got very lucky. I had friends of mine fly in a day early to sing background for me. You saw the PBS special. You would have saw the PBS lady singing behind me, and the gentleman that was singing behind me are known as the Modern Gentlemen. So they tour the country on their own as the Modern Gentlemen, and most people have seen them and don't know they've seen them. These were Frankie Valli's background singers for about 10 years.
Oh,
So
interesting.
after they left Frankie, they went out and are on their own as the Modern Gentlemen. So I got to have them sing behind me. And we got to catch up and spend some time. So it was a really, really cool experience. It was a lot of fun. I'm proud to have been part of it.
Yes.
TJ's been doing it a long time. And I'm glad I got to kind of spend some time with him, and we become friends. And, you know, it's just an amazing thing that I go back now and see some of those old videos when they come on, and you know, realize a lot of these guys aren't with us anymore.
Oh,
And to be able to still see that and hear that, it's just.
yes. And we also appreciate seeing these shows over the years, and appreciate that TJ Levinsky was able to put on so many spectacular doo-wop shows over the years.
He had a 60s one, he had a 70s one, he had a couple of doo-wop ones, he had a folk one. I mean, the list is never ending,
Yes.
depending upon what your musical preferences are.
That's true. So, Michael, when you and the Capris walk out on stage like you've been doing for decades now, what kind of emotions are you feeling looking out at the audience, knowing that all these folks have come out to see and hear the Capris sing "There's a Moon Out Tonight" and your other hits?
Usually it starts with relief that we all remember to put our pants on. That's where it begins.
Yeah, start there. Okay.
You know what? As a performer, and I've been doing this forever, there's always, you know, that 15 seconds of butterflies. And I don't care who you are and how long you've done this. That's always there. It's not just my opinion, but I think something's wrong. That's just normal. And then we all go into autopilot and we have fun. Having an audience respond. You've heard musicians talk about that amazing high, and that's what that is. It's really, again, very humbling for me to be able to do that. You know, I if you read my bio or you go to my website, which by the way is michaeldiamore.com, I'm going to mention that later, but go to my website, get on my mailing list. My God, the hardest part of what I do is trying to let people know where I'm going to be performing. It says in my bio, I measure my success by the number of smiles in my audience. And that's the truth. That really is what it comes down to, whether I'm doing a room of 50 people or I'm doing a room of 20,000. That's what I consider to be success. And I think we all feel that way to a certain degree. I've played rooms where I had 50 people and had a blast because they're just enjoying themselves. And that's what it's about. So, as far as the emotion goes, we do this because we love it. And when you do something you love with other people that love it as well, it's fun. And that's the simplest formula I could possibly, the simplest way I can answer that question.
Yes. Well, you're spreading the love, and that's a good thing.
I'm spreading something. I hope it's love.
We're all hoping that anyway. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, when you said you had butterflies in your stomach, that shows you want to do a good job. It means something to you. So,
and it is, and some of the craziness that goes on backstage, and some of the things that I've told the story a bunch of times, and I'll preface this by saying I am now scarred for life.
Scarred.
I
Okay.
was scarred for life.
Oh, yeah.
I was doing, my normal routine, and without getting overly graphic here, I usually hang out in my dressing room, and I'll go out and I'll talk to people before the show, and about 20 minutes before show time, I get and I went into my dressing room and I took everything out of my garment bag, and I'm wearing a tuxedo, and I pulled the pants out and I go to put the pants on, and the dry cleaner gave me somebody else's pants.
Oh no.
The guy was 5'3" and 200 pounds. I couldn't get the damn things past my thighs. Okay. And had no idea this was a formal event. I am in a tuxedo and I can't get the pants on.
Oh, man.
Yikes.
So I had no choice but to wear my patent leather shoes, my jeans that I drove in with, and my tux jacket and the shirt. And I got out on stage and I said, ladies and gentlemen, I need to address the elephant in the room.
Right.
And I looked at him and I said, in case you haven't noticed, I'm a little overweight. And everybody busted out laughing. And I told that story and I said, this is what happened. So now I'm scarred for life. I have to check every item when it comes back from the dry cleaner to make sure it's mine. Because, by the way, they never find those pants.
Totally disappeared somewhere.
But that's the kind of thing that goes on.
Yeah.
It's like things that you would never expect.
Yeah, that's a little trauma there that you have to get your performing mind in order, like, okay, I deal with this.
I'm just glad I didn't drive over in shorts.
Stage in shorts. That would have been a really even funnier story.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, no, that still might happen.
No, don't say that. He's scarred for life.
Listen, I'm already visiting a therapist for this. Stop it.
Oh, that was fun, Mike.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, that was a good story. Very good. Very good.
Oh, these are the things that happen, and I lose my mind sometimes. But in hindsight, it's what makes it fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course.
And that's why we have that expression, that's life, you just go on.
But I do want to mention that website again. Please, 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 please. If
Yeah.
you want to know what the Capris are playing, if you want to know where I'm going to be,
Yeah.
there's videos, there's songs, but most importantly, get on the mailing list. This way you know
Okay.
about the cruises, you know about the shows. I'm going to make it even easier. I'm going to put it right there so people can see it.
Yes.
That's the website. michaeldiamore.com. Get on a mailing list, and that's how you'll know what comes up. Ticket specials, performances, Capris, cruises. That's where it all is, and it just makes
Okay.
my life easier when they get on the mailing list. Like,
Sure.
Oh, we did it.
Okay, folks, you heard it. Please get on Michael's mailing list.
Yeah.
Make his life easier.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So before we close, is there anything else you'd like to share with our BCV audience? Any new projects you're working on or shows we need to know about this year?
Oh, there's bunches of things coming up. I mentioned earlier we're Let East is next weekend.
Right.
We'll be in Heinz Hall in Pittsburgh on October. You know what? Before I say the wrong thing, allow me to check that date. October 8th. I'm sorry, October 15th. We'll be at Heinz Hall in Pittsburgh. Then we'll be in Atlantic City. We're going to do Caesar's Palace October 20th. We'll be in West Springfield, Massachusetts on the 22nd. At the New England Doo-Wop Society. Then we're back in Carteret, New Jersey. Then I'll be doing a cruise with Dion and Frankie Avalon and Righteous Brothers.
cool.
And then we'll be doing the Malt Shop Memories cruise.
Oh, yeah.
And then I come back from that, and 2 weeks later is my own cruise. That's cruising with Michael Diamore. You're coming with me. We have such a blast doing these, and there's still time to get on that, and there's still time to book cabins on the one in March. Again, you can go to the website, and I'll give you the phone number for that. It's easy. It's 908-418-7062. Her name is Melissa. I know that because I'm married to her. And you can ask her your questions. And like I mentioned, I partnered with Expedia a few years back. And after I did, my wife became an Expedia travel consultant. So she handles my cruises as well as everything else.
Very
so
good.
if you have questions, you can call her and she'll answer your questions. And if you want to come with me, I'd love to have you, and she'll get you on board. And so there's all of these cool things coming up. We'll be in northern New Jersey in December at the Bergen Pack. So again, the mailing list is really the key with all of these things.
Yes,
To
because
know
you,
what's coming up and where.
you have so much happening, definitely. They
Yeah.
need the mailing list, okay.
It's easier when it's just in your inbox and you don't have to go looking for it. Yes. And find me on Facebook, for love of God. I made it easy. Look for me on Facebook and there's a picture. It says, "You have found Michael Diamore. Hit the like button." Just hit the like button. How hard is that? Go to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, click the little bell so you see the new videos that get posted.
Yeah.
There's always cool things going on. And the hardest part of my job is letting people know what and where. And what.
Yes,
What, where?
yes, but you've done a good job. You really.
And so when you come to California,
We were just in Cerritos, not 6 months ago. I will come back to California the next phone call I get. Absolutely. I have accidentally, which is so cool. The Capris do a song in the show that I've been singing my whole career called "Hey There, Lonely Girl," which was done by Eddie Holmes. And I had done a concert with the Capris that somebody had taken a cell phone video and posted that, and it went viral.
Oh,
And after it went viral, I had this amazing following in Southern California and Texas, and I get all these messages as to when I'm coming and I'm going to play. So I will be there first opportunity I get to come back. Marie can come to the show. You get to stay home.
you have your instructions, Rico. Well, actually, we both hope that we will see you and the Capris perform in the near future. So that would be great, Michael.
Oh, I hope to meet you. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, virtually after 2020, I think we've learned to do a lot of things virtually, but it'd be nice to be able to see you.
Yeah, nothing like the personal, contact.
Sure.
Well, this has been really fun. You made this a really fun interview and provided us so much interesting information and both past and present, what you're doing presently. So it was great. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks.
Okay. You didn't get.
We're back in our VCB studio. What a terrific interview, wouldn't you agree? Let's go over some of the highlights. Michael's experience with the mishap at the dry cleaners, where they gave him the wrong size pants and he didn't know it until 20 minutes before showtime. A wee bit too short and waist size not even in the ballpark. Might need to check your dry cleaning before you leave for an event, Michael. Michael is extremely busy. 230 to 250 shows a year, including his own cruise line show. Rico says he gets tired just thinking about your schedule. He covers all genres of music, even opera. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him on stage with Bocelli at the Met. Michael sings, smiles, jokes, and has fun, and gets paid for it. Due to a computer glitch, we didn't get to present Michael with a Billboard comp cover that Rico designed specifically for him. So with the magic of Zoom, we'll put it up on our screen so that all those out in VCB land will be able to see it. Just give us a moment, please. Let me read it to you. It says, Billboard, the Morse code of love tells us there's a moon out tonight. Michael continues to strive for perfection in his craft and will always measure his level of success by the number of smiles in his audience. Also, we have 45 RPM adapter earrings that Rico designed, and we have a set for Michael's lovely wife Melissa and daughter, like the kind I'm wearing today. Before we leave, we encourage all viewers in our VCB audience to visit the Capris or Michael D'Amore's Facebook page and website. We'll post all their personal and contact information on our last page. Also, any of you promoters or private entities that would like to book Michael or the Capris for your next show or event, again, see contact info on our last slide. We hope that all of our subscribers and friends out there enjoyed this interview as much as we did. Bookmark our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our future interviews and shows. Rico, can we sit out under the moonlight tonight?
Sure, Marie. I wouldn't want you to be a lonely girl.